Welcome to part 2 Armamentarium Materials and Instruments. So, the basic materials are rubber dam forceps, this is punch, this is dam sheet, this is clamp, this is frame. Okay, now let us see details about it. Accessory are lubricant or petroleum jelly, dental floss, you can see here, wedgets, and rubber dam napkin, and even scissors also. Now let us go details of each. Like rubber dam sheet. So rubber dam sheet is usually available in 5 into 5 inches and 6 into 6 inches based upon the size of the mouth. Usually we go with the 6 into 6 inches, and earlier it was in blue and green color. Now for the documentation purpose they have come with the black, purple and many colors. If you see the dam sheet, it has two sides. One is dull and another is reflecting. The dull surface should be faced at the operator. Now you can ask me why. Because the operator should not get deviated or confused. So that's the reason we use dull surface towards the operator and reflecting surface. Since the reflecting surface is smooth, glycery, if any saliva gets collected, it will just come down and fall into the floor of the mouth. So that's the reason the dull surface towards the operator, and it can be of latex or latex free. Based upon the thickness, it can be of thin, medium, heavy, extra heavy and special heavy. If we see the thickness of thin one, it is 0.15 mm, medium 0.2, 0.25, 0.30, 0.35. So if you see the heavy, medium, thin, where in which cases we use only these three. So if you want to do perform any short duration cases, for shorter duration, then we can use this thin. For all our endo, for all our the basic procedure, we use maximum the medium thickness one. If we want to do any aesthetic cases where we want to do a proper inversions and everything, we can do with the heavy. If we want to do a good document level of inversions of the anteriors, I usually prefer with the heavy. No need of extra heavy, heavy is sufficient. Again, if we go with the Nictone company, the medium one is also a good. So based upon the latex and non-latex, it is divided. So we have different range. So one Sanctuary is there, Sanctuary medium, heavy, Nictone. These are the different brands. So there will be small variations in the thickness from brand to brand. So you have to get adjusted with these sheets. Once you get adjusted, you will be very comfortable. This is Optradam. So there is no need of frame here. It has two rims, outer rim and inner rim. Now let us move to the rubber dam holder or frame. What's the purpose of that? Supports the edges of the rubber dam from here, retracts soft tissue, improves the accessibility to the isolation field. So again, it is of different materials, plastic and stainless steel. Usually we prefer stainless steel. Why? Because it can be autoclaved and contamination free things we can follow. Okay, it has like sharp hooks like things where we can engage the rubber dam sheet properly. Again, we have different company. The most famous are these two, and a special situation called as articulating frame. These are usually used for the endodontic radiograph for the convenience of this. Developed in the France by Dr. G. Savard, curved to fit into the face. Hinge is in the middle of to hold back, allowing easier access for the film and sensor placement. But without this also we can do. This is safety frame, very strong, a bigger thing. Now let's move to the clamps. So based on the materials, it is divided into metallic and plastic. So metallic one, again it can be divided into stainless steel and carbon steel. Plastic, it's made up of plastic. Based upon the bow, single bow. For anteriors we have double bow. This is the bow. Based upon the wings, it has been divided to wing and wingless. So what do you mean by wing? So these are the jaws. This is the one jaw, this is another jaw. A small projection over the jaw is called as wing. You can see here, this is the wing. There's a small projection where you can engage the rubber dam sheet. Okay, that's it. This is the wing, and here we have the jaws, but it does not contain wing. The advantages of this wing is that we'll have more retraction, and visibility is also good. Yeah, we have this is the bow. Okay, these are the prongs, 1 2 3 4. This has to be in touch with the tooth, which is being isolated. These are the holes where your forceps will engage and help you for transferring into the patient's mouth. So again, in clamp options we have different ranges. In wing one also we have serrated one, non-serrated one. Okay, I'll be showing you the pics of those things. And in wingless, again we have, based upon the mesodistal this dimension of this one, it has been divided. So rubber dam clamp functions. What's the main function of this clamp? Anchor the rubber dam to the tooth, helps for retraction the gingiva. So the parts, as we have already discussed, this is the beak, okay, the wings, bow, this is the bow, wings, beak, prongs, this is the hole. So how it has to be placed? It has to be placed in a manner where it has 4 contacts. See, 1 2 3 4, 4 contact, and it should be gingivally directed. See, if the contacts are coming out of the tooth, it is too large. If it is coming within the tooth, it is too small. It should cover or hug the tooth. Then that is a correct position. Clamps for the anterior teeth are usually in the butterfly or bow shape. Okay, based upon the anterior palatal, it is divided for anterior tooth, for laterals, for canines, like that. So you can see the curvature of, see here it is more curved. So we can see the anatomy of the tooth and decide which one it goes better. For the premolars, if you see, the buccolingual or palatal dimension is less compared to the molars. See here, bucco-palatal. Again here we have 3 to 4 sizes based upon the curvature of the buccal and palatal. Once we come to the molar, again the same thing, based upon the buccolingual or palatal. It is, see here, it is for the smaller, this one for the big. So like that we have to see. Usually 202, 205 of GDC company goes good with the 6. Now winged, see, this is the winged, it's a double, this, it is a wing. This is the bow, and these are the wings of the anterior. This is the wings of the posterior. Here also we can see the wings of the posterior. So clamp options for wingless. So based upon again the same thing, the curvature, we have to decide which clamp goes well with the which tooth. Okay, in few situations these clamps, if you see from the top, it appears like this. If you see from the front, if you see this one, it is flat. Okay, flat beak. So these are called as hygienic clamps. It doesn't hurt anything with the soft tissue. Mostly this type of clamps have been used, but we have a special cases where it is, tooth is very grossly decayed and difficult to get the anchor. Then we use this festonated beaks. Here it is bended down. That's the reason it is called as festonated. So since it is bended down, it is also called as active clamp, because it hold the tooth very actively. So you, while selecting this type of clamp, you should see that it should not damage anything to the soft tissue or with the hard tissue. If any cervical abrasions are there, and if you are keeping much pressure, the occlusal surface get like at the neck, it get breaks. So that's it, like there's a possibility of breakage is there. So we have to take care of that part. Again this is the passive. So usually we have to prefer this one. In very few situations we have to go with this active clamps. And for the stabilization, we have other modification called as tiger clamp. So we have like jaw for like tight holding. Again we have another modification called as SD Silker Clickman clamp, where anterior extension allows retraction of the dam around the severely broken down tooth. See here, if you see this one, here the tooth number 6 has been grossly decayed. So placing a clamp on this, it is really difficult and challenging. So usually we select to place on the tooth number 7. Always our bow should be distally directed. Okay, distal surface, and it has some anterior extension. So here if you see, the tooth number 7 is here, the tooth number 6 is here where we are performing our endodontic procedure. Here the tooth number 5. So it has an anterior extension. Now let's move to the forceps used to carry the clamp to the tooth. They are designed to spread the two working ends of the forceps apart when the handles are squeezed together. The working ends have a small projection, fits into two corresponding holes of the rubber dam clamp. This is a projection. See, here this is a projection which is engaging into the holes of the rubber dam clamp. Okay, and once you engage it, then you have to definitely lock it. This is a sling ring where if you push it forward, it will get locked. Okay, it has an hinge where it gets locked. Forceps handles, when you press here, this will get apart. Types of forceps, based upon the different companies, different types of forceps have been used, and all of them are okay, good. The most commonly used is ivory 246 and 048. Okay, but even the stalkers, brewers, all these are used. And this SS white has a good feature of the small round projection. It is easy to place. So how to place this clamp? The lingual jaw of the clamp are applied first to the tooth surface. They are positioned below the highest point on the lingual contour of the tooth, below the crest of curvature. The operator then rotates his head buccally to apply the buccal jaw of the clamp below the height of the buccal contour. The clamp is then released from the forceps. So here, then tilt it, come to the buccal. Now let us go to the punch. Punches with the rotating metal table with 6 holes of varying size and the tapered, sharp pointed plunger. Though the size differs from the 0.5 to 2.5. Let us see the details. See here, this is the 0.5 which are used for the like lower anteriors. These are for the upper anteriors. These are for the premolars. This is for the molars, and this is for the wider like very big tooth. So how it has to be placed? We have to see that this plunger has to get engaged into the hole properly. If it is not like getting engaged or not closed properly, we will not get the hole in a proper circle shape. Then again, when you stretch, if it is improper cut, when you stretch, definitely there will be a possibility of tear. So, and before plunging it up, we have to see that already previously used rubber dam, like it should not be get blocked with the previously used rubber dam material. If it is already blocked with the previously used rubber dam material, then it will be difficult for you to again press it. Again you will face the problems of improper cut. So we have to see the patency of this and then use. See, the cut should be like this, proper round. If you have a previous material, then this is the thing will happen. Like if you feel like improperly placed or improperly holded, then you'll have this problem of overtax. If these tags are there from this position, there is a possibility of tear. Template. Inked rubber stamp with the help of marking the dots on the sheet according to the position of the tooth. So this is the template which has a maxillary and mandibular arches. In few templates we even have a pedo arches. So select the teeth and mark and punch. So this is the template where we can stamp in it and use. Now accessory part. This is the floss. We can use of any company. So we have to check the thickness. If you check the thickness according to your convenience, you can use. So required for testing the interdental contact and for making ligature when they are needed. Also aid in flossing the rubber dam through the tight contacts. These are the floss ties. I'll be showing you how to do that. So another important thing is that if obviously if you use many times this clamp, it is prone for the break. To prevent any harm effects, we can tie the floss. So here these are different methods to tie the floss. If you tie the floss as this shown in this picture, if it breaks here, then there is a difficulty. So I usually prefer to tie the floss in this manner. It is very easy and very safe. So if you are following like this, then you have to start from the palatar or the lingual side, come to the buccal, and this excess arm should be of approximately 1 cubit in length. Again, the another benefit is that to push the interdental rubber dam sheet below the contact. So okay, if you have like this, when you're stretching, if you place your floss in between, it will not it will not crosses the contact and goes down below. You need more pressure, so you have to follow the contour of the tooth. Then you have to do twice. In one contact you have to do twice. So follow the tooth number 1 contact, then follow the tooth number 2 contact. This is the right way to pass your rubber dam sheet below the contact point. If you do like this, you'll get more resistance. So let us see the video of making the floss ties. We have two methods of making the floss tie. This is the easiest method: knot, and from the center of the knot pull it back. So if you are performing like this, you can go with the Colgate Total. If you are performing a double knot system, then you can go with the Oral-B. Once it is done, and take the help of the plastic filling instrument and push it down. Rubber dam napkin. It prevents skin contact with rubber dam to reduce the possibility of allergy reactions in sensitive patient. It absorbs any saliva seeping at the corners of the mouth. It acts as a cushion. It provides a convenience method for wiping the patient's lip on removal of the dam. Lubricants. Before positioning the dam, the lubricant in the inner surface weld with the Vaseline or a soap so that a sheet will slide better over the contours of the teeth, easily overcome the contact areas and closely tight around the cervix. Inserting of wedgets. So in order to get retracted more, we can use these wedgets. So what are these wedgets? These wedgets are elastic cords generally used to secure the dam around the teeth from the clamp. It can also be used to push the dam through the interproximal contacts and also in some places as a retainer instead of the clamp.